the Bulldogs today at the historic Hump in Starkville, Mississippi. With Kyle Macy, I'm Taylor Zarzer. Mississippi State with the early 7-3 lead. Derek Obeyde just made the bucket for Georgia, their first field goal. As you see Peters go up for three, no good. Rebound, fought for inside, and Holman is fouled. Just a moment ago, Quindary Weatherspoon, leading scorer for Mississippi State, for three.
Deep in the corner, a little crossover move right to left, and they got his bounce. Good job squaring up, knocking it down.
Both Weatherspoons have scored early. Holman's third three attempt is also no good.
Holman thinks he's more of a perimeter player than a guy his size that he has at 6'10", 225.
Crump, dish to Obeyde, short, and he's fouled. Obeyde reaches in and commits his second foul. So quickly he's in foul trouble. Both of these teams, Mississippi State and South Carolina, Kyle, coming off quite possibly their best wins of the season.
By far their best wins. I think at this point in the season, to go on the road as Mississippi State did, even though South Carolina struggled a little bit, like we said, it had been 12 months since they'd gotten a road victory. To go and get that victory, then to come home, get a little confidence, because even though they're not being talked about a lot in the NCAA tournament, if they get on a run here late in the season, maybe go 7-2 the rest of the way out, that put them with 23 wins, and they still have a chance to get in, play their way into the tournament.
This is Stapleton just off the bench and short. Claxton, who just came in for Obeyde, with the block of Weatherspoon's first attempt, had the basketball there briefly for a moment. Nicholas Claxton. His pass intercepted as Peters gets in the passing lane and finishes.
That Georgia win against Florida, Florida, that's a quality win. And they're compiling those quality wins, which in the past they've been left out of the tournament because they said, well, they didn't have a lot of quality wins. So now they can't hold that argument against them this year.
Crump for three. Got it.
Crump likes to catch and shoot, coming off a pick, a down screen, or just in the rotation from side to side. Quick release.
Whew. What a move by Peters. Inside in the finish there by Abdul Adu.
Adu's really come on offensively. He came here to the States.
SEC Player of the Year. He had 20 versus Florida on Tuesday, but was benched to start the second half. As Coach Mark Fox said, he seemed a bit tired. He responded well in that second half as they tried to get the ball inside to him, and a foul is called on Mississippi State.
Yeah, kind of interesting to continue that thought. Mark Fox thought it was more maybe mentally tired than physically. Because there is so much asked of him to do night in and night out, and he's performed his entire career there at Georgia that just gave him a little bit of break. He felt like he was back fresh again, getting ready for this game today.
P.J. Datcher checking in off the bench for Mississippi State as they have some early foul issues. Only 2 fouls on Derek Obeyde for Georgia. Tough pass intercepted into the hands of Mississippi State and Quindary Weatherspoon.
Yeah, Quindary Weatherspoon, a good job defensively that time. Datcher had the size advantage and able to just hold his own.
3 ball off the mark and a foul inside.
Excuse me, actually that was Hammonds down the low post, who's 6'8", 227 pounds.
Freshman from Norcross, Georgia. He did start the season opener. In fact, he was the first freshman to start a season opener in 6 years for Mark Fox. All about the Weatherspoons here in Starkville as Quindary just passed to Nick. The brothers have had 35 total points the other night in the win against South Carolina. This is Nick from 18 feet. Got it.
Well, you have to respect that drive. He's so quick, but then when he plants on a dime there, rises up, it's real hard to defend that. If he starts making those outside shots, you're in a real bind.
Crump just inside the three-point line.
Did that bank you? Couldn't tell. It looked like kind of slid in the side door that time.
Tyree making only his second career start in place of Victorian Wilridge, as Mark Fox decided to go small with his starting lineup. Weatherspoon again. Nice long rebound by Datcher and gives him a fresh 30.
Both these teams love to play ball control. On the offensive end, they'll be very patient, try to get a good shot. And defensively, they'll just clamp down and contest every shot you get.
What a move by Quindary Weatherspoon.
That's why they're the #1 and 2 ranked team defensively in the SEC, because there's nothing comes easy when you go against these Bulldogs.
Nice move by Maton, but can't get the finish.
Very unusual. You see Yante Maton miss a wide open layup like that on the post up.
Still hasn't scored. Meanwhile, Stapleton is fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Stapleton had a little bruised knee after the game the other night, but obviously out here performing. A good free throw shooter, about 80% on the season.
Coach Allen told us before the game today that he's still dealing with that knee sprain, missed 3 games. As you said, also 2 more for team violations, so has been in and out of the lineup for Coach Allen in his junior season. And the lead is 9 for Mississippi State, not even 7 minutes in.
If State can make outside shots, all of a sudden they become a real good team because they're so big on the inside. They have 3 guards that can do a little bit of everything. They play solid defense. As Peters comes up with a steal and a layup.
Bad pass by Mike Edwards and another lay-in for Jamal.
But that seems to be the key. If they're making their outside shots, then all of a sudden everything starts to click.
10-2 run for MSU. And that's thrown away.
Lamar Peters just flashing the passing lane there, getting the deflection of the ball out ahead, runs it down, takes it all the way to the glass.
Already 4 Georgia turnovers, down by double digits. Stapleton walks.
Just trying to do too much that time. You got to rely on your teammates.
First turnover on Mississippi State at the 12:43 mark.
And both these teams do a real good job of taking care of the basketball. Neither one are a high turnover number in their normal game.
So push away from the ball on Xavier Stapleton. His first.
May have been a little frustration getting called for that walking call, so immediately Ben Howland will get him out of the lineup. And Eric Holman will check back in.
You see Coach Allen there in his 3rd season in Starkville, taking 3 other teams to the NCAA tournament. Wants to make his first trip to the dance with Mississippi State, one of the youngest teams in college basketball.
I got a real kick out of him at the shoot-around today, talking about how he's been working more on offense. Because, you know, he loves his defense, and that's always the #1 thing in practice. But he said here recently they've gone to offense first.
And 3 by Pape Diatta, who has played a limited amount of basketball this season for Georgia. In fact, not even in their regular rotation, but comes in and drains the long ball.
Coach has got to know your team. Mark Fox must have thought maybe he had a feeling that Pop was going to play pretty well today.
Peters is hot.
Just haven't stopped that penetration. 3rd time he's been able to get all the way to the rim.
He now has 8 points. And Mississippi State's lead is 10 again. Turtle for 3, no good. Skip past Carter, rejected by Crump. Turtle Jackson, the point guard for Georgia. Now Crump for 3.
Trump could have actually stepped in another big step to get closer to that 3-point line. Good rotation by Maton out top. It made it a little tougher than it had to be.
Eli Wright with the basketball in the game off the bench as Mississippi State goes deep into their bench here, trying to get to that media timeout. And Peters trains the long ball.
Peters not known for his outside shooting, only 32% and 20% from behind the three-point line, but nothing but net there. Georgia had gone to their matchup zone.
11 points for the sophomore from New Orleans. And Datcher gets Turtle Jackson a second ago. Impressive from Quindary and from Nick. And in part why Mississippi State has a 24-11 lead. 10 made field goals for Mississippi State. Georgia's only attempted 11 shots. 3 ball on the way for Pape Diatta again. And this guy has come off the bench again. Hasn't played much at all in SEC play and suddenly has 2 threes.
That'll drive a coach crazy, opposing coach. The fact that you go over the scouting reports, you spend hours and hours. He doesn't do anything in any films you see, and all of a sudden he gets in your game and he makes back-to-back baskets. Matchup zone again by Georgia. Can't stand and watch. You got to keep that ball moving, keep players moving.
They do with the one-hander.
They do. Really strong low post player, and as you said, improving those offensive skills daily. Came in more as a rebounder and defender. Great length, great strength.
Parker trapped now into Maton, who's fouled and will go to the line.
Dante Maton does a real good job when he posts you up, of walking you up the lane to create some space for his teammates to throw the ball. And you get caught sometimes on the high side, and all he's got to do is just catch it and go straight to the rim.
He's one of the best free throw shooters in the country at 85%. And he is the latest to feel the announcer curse.
It's an interesting routine. If you watch, he starts with one foot well in front of the other, and then as he picks the ball up after dribbling a few times, he kind of changes his foot position. See, he puts that left foot way back, and now he brings it back up, moves the right foot over a little bit, and then shoots. But hey, if it works and he shoots a high percentage, why not keep doing it?
That's his first point of the game, a guy that has scored over 20 points on numerous occasions this season. It's been in double figures 20 of the 21 times Georgia's played. Quindary from the elbow out to Peters for 3. It's the side of the basket and out of bounds off Georgia.
You got to secure the basketball on the defensive rebound. You can't go to the offensive end until you hit the ball. A couple of Georgia players went ahead and took off. Pop got caught that time. Doing a forearm check on the cut by a dude.
Scott his first foul already with a couple of threes off the bench. Has only hit 3 all season coming into today's game. He stops, pops. Rebounded by Maton.
And that's what the pro scouts like about Yante Maton, just the explosiveness. Well, he went way up above the rim, grabbed it with 2 hands.
Maton and Parker have been quiet, as has Turtle Jackson, who has this one stripped. Peters again with the lay-in.
Peters very active, hands on the defensive end. That deflection leading to baskets on the other end. Points in transition. Huge for Mississippi State. They don't have to work so hard to get a point in half court.
13 points now for Lamar Peters. Again, Diatta. Again, he makes it. He made 3 threes all season, and he's got 3 in the first 12 minutes and 15 seconds.
And don't be surprised when you see Ben Howland go back and look at his assistant like, who is this guy? Why isn't he on this scouting report?
Freshman from Senegal who's been playing sparingly is trying to keep the Dogs in the game. Lamar Peters with 13 early points for Mississippi State with another. He has not gotten to 20 yet this season. Did have 25 here against Kentucky last year. Did not start until 4 games ago when Ben Howland inserted him into the starting lineup. Boy, has it paid off. Maton with a bad pass. And there's a foul that is going to prevent the lay-in. Jawan Parker near half court.
Coach Howland really upset. Thought that should have been just a no call so that we kind of stop that fast break. Take a look at it. They come up with the steal. 3 guys ahead of every defender right here. And Parker makes a smart move if he was trying to foul because he made it look like it was not intentional. But there you see it, 2 players wide open. Coaching staff from Mississippi State not real happy with that. State's done a great job of rebounding the basketball. 13-6 advantage. They've not given up an offensive board to Georgia yet.
They also have 5 steals in the early going. Adu wants to work on Maton. Hangs around and gets fouled.
He's a load down that low post. May not be the quickest or fastest, but he just takes his time, plods, and you've got to be strong to stop him. You can hear Mark Fox saying, where's the defender supposed to go? Felt like maybe an offensive foul should have been called.
This guy has lived all over the world, from Lagos, Nigeria. Played his high school basketball in Chattanooga. Is only a 49% free throw shooter this season, but had made 9 of 11 before that miss. Parker steps back, in and out. Again, rebounded by Mississippi State.
Great defensive job by State. Everything's contested. No easy looks. I think if you're Georgia, though, you've got to... Oh, Peters almost gets another one to go down. I think if you're Georgia, though, you've got to try to find your star. Yante Maton needs to touch the ball. Nobody else shoot until he at least gets one touch in position to score. Not out on the floor where he's just swinging side to side.
Still yet with a field goal tonight. Thought about the 3 there. Coming up at 8:15 tonight on ESPN, we'll take you to the Assembly Hall in Bloomington for number 5 Michigan State and Indiana. It's also streaming live on the ESPN app. Now, we know Indiana has struggled this season, almost knocked off Purdue at home last week. Have that game with Sparty tonight, but we've seen a lot of upsets today in college basketball. Kentucky losing earlier today to Missouri, Kansas at home to Oklahoma State. And how about Duke losing to St. John's? Hasn't won a game in the Big East. Crump from way outside off the mark. And the Bulldogs with another rebound.
SEC play, too. Big win by going to Florida. And for Alabama, going on the road, getting a road win.
Dominated the second half today in Gainesville. Avery Johnson's team with their best win on the road this season.
Talking to both coaches today, first thing they said how tough this conference is top to bottom.
That was a tough shot that Nick Weatherspoon makes. And the Bulldogs are feeling it in the first 14 and a half minutes. Tay Maton again has not scored a field goal, and Mississippi State's been all over him defensively. This is Edwards with the finish.
Well, that's what you've got to do if Georgia. Swing the ball side to side, attack the rim when the defense shifts, kick it the other way, find the open man, get the best shot available.
Junior from Westland, Michigan, with his first field goal. And again, the lead 11 for Mississippi State. Adu trying to work on Yante Maton. Kicks it back out. For 3, Weatherspoon at the shot clock expiration. Out of bounds. Back to Georgia. Deontay Maiden, again, held scoreless from the field so far, just one free throw.
He needs to be a little bit more aggressive, both mentally and physically, when the ball's in his hands, just kind of being passive, passing it to teammates. He's the star of this team. He's got to be aggressive and look to score, kind of take his team on his shoulders for a short period of time until everybody else gets going.
Only 2 attempts so far. They double him again. And they call a foul inside.
And Terry, we saw today at practice, Mississippi State had that box taped on the floor. And that was the area when the ball went down low to Maiden, they were going to automatically double team down in that low post, and it's really giving him problems. He's got to catch it, make a move right away. He can't wait because there comes the second defender. State putting the man on the ball, defender on the low side, running that double team player at him at the high side.
Frustration all over his face, trying to voice it to the officials. Great free throw shooting numbers in his career, and here against Mississippi State, 24 of 28 against the Bulldogs. He's been outstanding the last 2 times he's played Mississippi State, but he's just 2 of 4 from the line tonight. That's an offensive foul on MSU. A 10-point lead for the boys from Stark Vegas. Without a senior.
Going to get a lot of great experience this year. They've got a good recruiting class coming in, so the future looks very bright for these Bulldogs. Enjoyed being able to go to their film session after shoot-around this morning. It's nice of them to allow me in.
This is Maiden still looking for his first field goal. Kicks it out. Hammond's 3, no good. Coach Allen was excited to see my partner in crime today, the Kentucky All-American Kyle Macy, and said, "You got to come watch some film with me." Look at Weatherspoon with a great catch on a poor lob from Peters to get the finish.
We really didn't get the full effect of that because it was such a bad pass, but he made it look easy where he was still able to grab it. Had that been by the rim, that would have been a highlight reel.
We saw him do that a couple of times in shoot-around today as Claxton has his pocket pick. Peters for 3. Good job by Claxton to get down on the other end after the ball stolen from him with the rebound.
Real important, 2:48 to go here in the first half for Georgia.
Let's get back to that alley-oop you were just mentioning a second ago. Not the best pass, but how about this finish?
Yeah, had to reach back and move it back, still able to get it up off the glass and get it to go down. If it had been a little close to the rim, though, when he was doing it in practice, he almost hit his head on the rim. Just to show how high he can jump, because he's not that tall, only 6'2", 195 pounds.
The more talkative of the Weatherspoon brothers.
I was surprised, as you were, I think, because when we sat out here waiting for shoot-around to start, it was Quindary that was kind of yapping a little bit, wasn't it?
Nice back door, and it's Quindary with the finish. This is the largest Mississippi State lead, 2 touchdowns. Jackson trapped on the baseline, back out to Maiden. 4 on the shot clock, and that's no good. Still searching for his first field goal.
Again, excellent defense. Whoever's guarding him, getting into his jersey, making him feel uncomfortable.
Game so far by Lamar Peters, 7 on the shot clock. And a bad pass, though, this time inside, stolen by Maiden. Turtle Jackson with a nice move, but can't get the finish. And there's a foul. Tonight's NBA Saturday primetime game on ABC. It's the Beard, the Rockets traveling to Cleveland to take on LeBron and the Cavs. It starts at 8:30 Eastern. Coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 8 Eastern. It's also streaming live on the ESPN app. can you imagine a scenario where the Beard and the Warriors, or the Beard and the Rockets, rather, knock off the Warriors to get to the NBA Finals? It's hard for me to believe.
It is, but they're having some success against them. So you got to kind of get the timing right, get playing your best basketball from playoff time over a course of a 7-game series.
What a frustrating first half it has been for Yante Maiden. 0 for 3 from the field, just 2 points. Georgia has missed 8 of their last 9 shots.
Again, I think you've got to give Maiden more shots now. It won't happen much into this first half with only 53 seconds left. But at halftime, I'm sure Mark Fox will introduce Yante Maiden to the rest of the teammates. Say, hey, get him the ball first.
Peters called for a travel. Turtle Jackson, Juwan Parker, and Yante Maiden all have not hit a field goal today, as Mississippi State can hold for the last shot.
The State has to be pleased with their first half performance. They've shot the ball well defensively. They forced some turnovers to get some easy baskets. Everybody's contributed.
3 ball too strong as Fiesel misses it with 7 seconds left. Then Howland looks on incredulously with that decision. But Pape Diatta commits the foul away from the ball, and Weatherspoon gets to go to the line.
77.4% from the free throw line on the season. Another player that does a lot of different things for Mississippi State Bulldogs. He can score, he can defend, he rebounds. A real good passer, sees the floor.
Turned his ankle in the shoot around this morning, but doesn't seem like it's limited him here tonight. Back to the last 4.9 of the first half in just a moment.
If you get an open path, but try to throw it inbounds as deep as you can, and then just get whatever shot you can. Hopefully it'll go in and get a little momentum going to halftime.
Turtle Jackson for 3, way off the mark. And Georgia's leading scorer is Pape Diatta, who had no points on the season. He hit 3 threes to try to keep the Bulldogs within shouting distance. So take a look at the stats from the first half. Georgia with just 1 steal tonight. You see Mississippi State stepping into passing lanes throughout the first 20 minutes and dominating the points in the paint.
And State did a real good job of turning those 9 turnovers into points, 13 points of their 37. So a real good job transitioning the defense to offense.
And finally, Maiden hits his first field goal on Georgia's first possession.
And able that time just to catch it, make a quick move before the double team could come at them.
Seems quite obvious. Mark Fox made an emphasis on that in the locker room.
Right.
Holman from 15 feet.
Yeah, Maiden's a star player. He's got to get involved because then everybody kind of feeds off the way he plays. Holman started out that first half taking some quick shots. That time got one to go down. He's 0 for 3 to start the game.
Maiden wants to shoot the 3, short.
You know, I'm not sure he really wanted to. It didn't look like he was committed to that shot, did it? He has been able to extend his range this year. And according to Mark Fox, not so much for the pro scouts, just been able to work on it in the offseason and feels comfortable now shooting that long-range 3.
Peters off the mark, but rebounded inside by Adu. Trying to post up, and he walks.
Good job by Obede. He's holding his ground. Adu took that little shuffle step.
Obede only played a couple of minutes in foul trouble and sat out the rest of the first half.
He's had a tough week. Had some surgery on a window. He had like a little cyst in his eye they removed. Came to practice the other day with a patch on it, Coach Fox said.
Crump from downtown.
Well, that will help too now because that may extend the defense a little further out. So when they throw it down low to Maiden, it's a little further to travel to get down there to double team.
Tyree just making his second start as a Georgia Bulldog, and the lead's down to 13.
State's got to be careful not to get passive here. The way they built that big lead was by being aggressive, moving the ball, going to the basket, playing strong.
Rebound goes to Georgia. As Parker, the only player that's has a graduate degree in all of college basketball, still searching for his first points. This is Turtle Jackson in the lane and in.
Yeah, Parker has a master's degree and working on his second master's.
He's still scoreless, but Turtle Jackson and Deontay Mayton both hitting their first field goals to start the second half. Nick Weatherspoon, tough shot and in.
Excellent body control, using his body as a shield, in fact, protect from the defender. Being so strong, there's still plenty of opportunities to get those quality wins. In Georgia, with the 4 quality wins already, with a few more on schedule coming as they go down the stretch in SEC play, could still work their way in, but a little disappointing today, I'm sure, for Mark Fox, knowing the importance of this game and the way they came out and played that first half.
Crump's three is way short and out of bounds. And this would be regarded as a Q1 win. Of course, there are 4 different categories, and because it's on the road against a quality opponent, that actually would qualify as a better win than the win they had at home against Florida on Tuesday night. Look at this again with Weatherspoon.
You can see it coming. Well, I guess Georgia didn't see it coming because they didn't react at all, but we talked about the hops well above the rim with 2 hands.
Barry Weatherspoon and Lamar Peters went for the steal. I think it called for. They were working on this throughout shoot-around today. And the back door open again for the freshman.
Yeah, they just swing it from side to side and then set a back pick on that wing player. Weatherspoon takes off.
Nick now with 12 points. Parker tries to bulldoze his way in and is called for an offensive foul.
Every time Georgia has tried to do things one-on-one, they have problems. They really have to rely on their teammates, move the ball, move themselves. It came right back the same play.
Look at that behind the back pass to his brother Quindary. Adu with an offensive foul. The back door, 21 points.
They had some good backyard one-on-one games when they were growing up.
Quindary 2 inches taller than his younger brother Nick. I think Nick makes up for it with that vertical leap. This is Pape Diatta, who's not played much this season, passing inside to Claxton. And there's a foul. We were mentioning their tattoos. You see both of them paying tribute to their hometown of Canton, just outside of Jackson, just some 2 hours away.
For Quindary down on the leg, and for Nick obviously on the chest. Took a few hours to do all that.
It is a lot of work. 601 area code throughout most of the Magnolia State. Juwan Parker, just 1 field goal today. Deontay Mayton with the ball. He too with just 1 field goal and 4 points. Turtle Jackson still looking for his first, and it's way short. Peters wanted to beat the Georgia pressure and draws the foul.
You know, in this game, it's kind of come down to the it factor, it being I for intensity and T for toughness. And right now, Mississippi State is just dominating both categories. That last possession by Georgia is just kind of a bailout shot, falling away off the wrong foot.
Datcher working hard, rejected by Mayton. Turtle Jackson finally gets on the board.
Got a much better shot that time. He got his feet set, got his balance, went straight up and down. Those are the kind of possessions they need. Quality possessions where they get a good shot. They don't have to score every possession, but at least get a good look at the basket.
Turtle does have 5 points, his first 3 there. And the lead is down to 12. Foul called inside. Coming up at 8:15 tonight on ESPN, we'll take you to Assembly Hall in Bloomington for number 5 Michigan State and Indiana. It's also streaming live on the ESPN app. Sparty's won 6 of 7 from the Hoosiers. What a tumultuous time it has been in East Lansing. A lot of tough questions being asked of Tom Izzo, who says he doesn't have any answers at the moment, but a time will come when he will start speaking publicly for the victims and about what he may have known that transpired in his basketball program. It's a lot to deal with. Another big move by Nick Weatherspoon.
Bad defense. You never leave the basketball when you're guarding the ball. You can't leave it wide open. Good recognition by Weatherspoon. Just took it all the way to reverse for a layup.
Got it inside to Edwards, who's rejected. Nick Weatherspoon has had quite a game tonight against Georgia.
Right, just a little hesitation there, and Edwards kind of left, and Claxton was late getting back in front. Just excellent recognition.
Said the last 6 for MSU and leads them with 14 points.
Peyton now on the bench. We talked the last game about Mark Fox took him out, thought he was fatigued. You wonder if he'll get back in here. 13:47. You got to believe he would, but
you kind of sense he's played that way today.
Yeah.
You know, he did not start the second half, as you mentioned, against Florida. He did score 20 points in that victory, but the first thing Coach Fox said to us today is that was something that he noticed in that game Tuesday night, and you're wondering if it's carrying over to Starkville here on Saturday.
And this is the point in the season where you know, early you kind of lose your legs, then you get them back, and then 3/4 away, which is just a little bit past halfway. You sometimes get a little dead-legged again, and then you got to revive, get it back. Now, knowing he's only got a minimum of 10 games left in his college career, you would think he'd be able to push through that. So hopefully he'll figure that out, understand that, and play every second. And one thing, he does log a lot of minutes, averaging over 30 minutes a game. Holman finally gets a 3 to go down.
That is his 5th three-point attempt, his first make, and it's a 17-point lead for Mississippi State. Really good quality wins, but these tough losses are starting to mount.
Yeah, that's the thing I think that's, you know, they got to be careful, because even though they have some good ones, they've got some bad ones. And this is going to be a test, this last 12:50 to play, just to see what kind of character this Georgia team. Are they going to give up, or are they going to continue to battle and try to cut into that lead?
Eric Holman preventing Yante Maton from putting him on a poster. Sends the senior from Pontiac, Michigan, back to the free throw line. He is just 2 for 5 from there tonight.
Yeah, a little flat from the free throw line. You watch the arc when he shoots the ball. It's just an unusual style, though, the way he sets that foot back, picks the ball up, then changes his whole stance before he shoots it.
So leading scorer in the SEC by nearly a full point over Arkansas's Jalen Barford. But has had a tough night tonight, just 5 points.
So just stays in that matchup 2-3 zone. Which would be a good move. As I say that, Tyson Carter knocks down a 3, because Mississippi State really hadn't shot the 3 that well until the last couple possessions. You know, 2 of 15 at one stretch to start the game.
When Lamar Peters went to the starting lineup, it put Carter on the bench. And the Starkville, Mississippi resident knocks down the 3 on the other end. There's a 3 ball from Jawan Parker, his first field goal.
Which, having Carter, you know, come in off the bench and be able to supply some offense with those 3s, you know, seems to be working. He's most of his attempts are from on the three-point line. It's kind of an instant offense, looking to score when he comes in now.
Quindary gets fouled. We'll go to the line. Tyson Carter off the bench.
I'm not sure, though. That was kind of the Lou Groza or George Blanda style, the straight-on toe kick, as opposed to the soccer style nowadays. He's always trying to improve, though. We asked him how far he thought he could go. He said, thought maybe he could do 50?
He's a fisheries and wildlife major. His first name, a combination of his parents' name. Been a tough night for him tonight, though, as he just watches Quindary Weatherspoon make 2 more free throws. He has a season-low 5 points tonight. His team is down 18.
But the other thing the State's been able to do, you saw Holman really sagging off the postman up top of Bede, so that he was right there ready to double Maton if they did throw it in the low post. You got to have somebody able to knock down a shot to pull that defense away. Otherwise, they're just clogging up the lane, so every time Maton gets it, the double team is right in place.
Tyree Crump, a 78% free throw shooter, a sophomore from Bainbridge, Georgia.
Knock this down, be the first Georgia Bulldog in double figures. Not yet.
We're shooting 3 after the foul on Carter. And it's a 16-point game.
Well, full court, three-quarter court, actually. Pressure just to change it up.
Both Weatherspoons off the floor at the moment. As Coach Allen milks that shot clock a bit. Now Carter for 3 again. In and out. But a nice rebound inside. And a good job drawing the foul, Eric Holman.
Holman 69% from the line on the season.
And that win the other night in Columbia, he had some critical free throws as Mississippi State beat the Gamecocks by 5.
It's the 8th on the all-time block list, 108. And, moving in on Wiley Peck, a guy I played against years ago here at Mississippi State.
Bulldogs were 14 of 15 from the line in the victory against the Gamecocks on Wednesday night. And Ben Allen was stressing free throws today in shoot-around, said they had to make 14 in a row before they could get out of there.
Yeah, they ended up making 19 of 21, I believe. And that's pretty. It was funny, though, because he talked about how they were starting to work more on offense. And a guy that just loves defense, you could tell it was kind of bothering him, but then he's seeing the results. They're shooting the ball better, and it's made their overall game better. It's kind of funny, though, watching kind of cringe as he said, yeah, we're working more on offense.
He did. And it's hard for him to admit that, being such a defensive-minded guy. You think back to those Pitt and UCLA teams. It was interesting to see him take this job, having no connection whatsoever to this part of the country. Yet the recruiting he has done and the way he's built this team, the future's so bright for Mississippi State basketball. And you combine that with Joe Moorhead, the Mississippi State football coach who was at Fordham and Penn State. He too has no history here, but both of those coaches have such confidence in what their programs can do in the next few seasons.
Well, in his resume, he's always had success, whether it was Northern Arizona, Pittsburgh, like you said, UCLA. And so when you walk into recruits' home, being and say, this is what I've done, I can help you, they're going to listen.
They certainly have, with the help of his assistant coach, George Brooks, and one of the top recruiting classes in the country, expected to join the team next season. Parker for 3. Blackston with the offensive rebound. And Maton with another field goal.
Good pass that time by Claxton. The freshman father played at Georgia. Really good shot blocker in his career.
Charles, an all-SEC player. His mother, Nicole, also a DGD, as they say. Carter using the glass, too strong. But a rebound by Adu. Again, milking a lot of the shot clock has been Howland as Peters takes off with 7 left and scores.
Looked like Georgia switched from their matchup to man, and just bad one-on-one defense allowed that straight line drive right to the basket.
He's got 15, and that's what the lead is again. Maton way too strong. Adu with the finish. You
got to give Adu a lot of credit. He's done a good job one-on-one defense against Maton. His long arms make him change his shot.
And he gets down the floor quickly, but can't handle the pass.
Probably a bad decision by Peters throwing the ball to him on the run.
And a second chance for Adu, and a quick timeout is called as the lead is down to 13. Earlier today, including Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher, all part of the class that'll go into Canton in August.
I saw a comparison of Bamba and Anthony Davis when he was a freshman in Kentucky. Very similar numbers. Anthony went on to be the first-round draft pick, first pick overall, having an outstanding all-star NBA career. You wonder if Bamba could do similar things, but the numbers were eerily similar.
Carter, but the tip in there. Nice finish by Abdul Adu. Again, the lead's 15 for Mississippi State. Crump with the extra pass, and the 3 no good. But a nice finish inside.
Maton is doing a good job working the offensive board, getting inside position, going right back up. The way that Mississippi State plays their defense, though, this 13-point lead seems like it's like 20 or 25 right now because they make every possession so difficult to score.
Peters, what a crossover move, and the finish for 3. How about the night Lamar Peters is having? He went
5 teams with no seniors in the entire Division I basketball. So they progressed, kind of a slow pace, but there are no real quality wins early in the season. But if they can go on like a 7-2 run down the stretch here and get to 23 wins, they'd be 11-7 in the SEC. With the power rating of the SEC, you got to believe they'd get in.
And looking, because of the lack of their strength of schedule in the non-conference, they might need to get to 10 or 11 conference wins, and you see the rest of their schedule and you think there's a chance they could do that. They'll have a chance for a big win against Alabama on Tuesday, as that one's off the mark by Stapleton. Alabama, of course, coming in after the shocking performance today in Gainesville, where they outscored the Gators by 24 in the second half. Maton will get that one to count as goaltending is called.
They'll play Alabama here at home. Also a home game. They get to take on Tennessee, which would be another quality win if they can win at home. Travel to Vanderbilt, so that should be another W in their cap. Although it's hard to say that because Vanderbilt, they battle you. I mean, they had Kentucky beat twice, and unfortunately came out with the L in both of those games. So you've got to be ready to go with that game. But there are opportunities. I mean, they go to Texas A&M, which have played very well today. But again, you wouldn't want to put a schedule together with a young team like this where you've got all kind of tough games, because sometimes you kind of lose your confidence and never get it back as the season progresses.
3 by Peters, too strong. And this is Gata running the floor ahead to Claxton for the finish.
I'd like to see Georgia do a little bit more of that in their play. Just try to get some transition baskets, because everything they get on the offensive end, they have to work so hard. They can break a little bit more, try to go to the basket, not just rely on outside shots. That's really been the key for Mississippi State today. They've been able to make outside jump shots, open up some of the inside drives.
Nice outside shot by Eric Holman. The lead is 14.
Holman recognizing he's not a big brute down the low post and back to the basket. So just faces up, goes straight up, knocks it down.
He's got 8. Crump from way outside.
Still plenty of time. 5:31, only 11 point. Then a guy by the name of Dominic Wilkins, most people have heard of. So to be able in the category with those guys speaks to what kind of career you've had.
Peters intercepted the pass that was intended for his teammate. You don't see that very often. Quindary working hard inside, and it pays off by going to the line.
The Georgia foul is on 33. Claxton is first. Team 6. At the line to shoot 2, Hugh Witherspoon.
If Quindary Weatherspoon is back next season, which a lot of people are believing he'll decide to do at the end of the year, Mississippi State returns every player on this team and brings in a couple of fabulous freshmen. This is a team that everyone will be paying attention to next season. But as you were saying, Kyle, with a young team, they're only going to become more dangerous as February continues and we get into March.
Just that experience does so much for a player. Confidence and experience. And those are the two things they're going to gather the more they continue to play out this year, having some success as they go down the stretch into the SEC tournament play. Possibly postseason play if they don't make the NCAA dance.
Georgia had a chance to cut it to single digits there. Instead, a miss and a Claxton foul.
Eric Holman at the line to shoot 1 and 1.
Holman now with 9, hitting the front end. As Bulldogs try to improve to 5-5 in conference play. This would be their 15th win at home in the Hump, and they've only done that 3 times since this building opened some 43 seasons ago.
And Holman now with double figures, 15 games of the 23. He's been in double figures, adding some scoring punch.
Crump, another tough 3. Claxton reaches over for the rebound and gets the finish.
Wow, Claxton way above the rim on that one.
Heck of a wingspan he's showing off as it leads down to 12 again. Holman with a move and the finish.
And again, all the Georgia players just stood there and watched. You'd think somebody at least go try to block it or at least step outside the arc and try to take a charge. But that's the way you go strong to the basket. 2 hands, throw it down. .350 left. Just an all-around team effort by Mississippi State. Everybody that's been in the game has really contributed, whether not just so much scoring, but rebounding, playing solid defense, sharing the basketball. State will just use some clock now. Wait till it gets about 12 before they even think about going to the basket.
On cue, a lot of sharing on this possession. Peters will step out, look for a screen. Lose the handle. Georgia will push it quickly. Crump gets bumped. Bulldogs ended a 12-game road losing streak on Wednesday, winning in Columbia. They started the season 13-1. They lost 5 of 6, but looking for their third straight win tonight as Crump misses the front end.
State was able to handle that pressure by South Carolina because of the 3-guard play. Carolina likes to really extend out and deny those wings, so they did a lot of dribble entries. Good move right now. Recognize the time's on your side. You don't really need to score many more points. Just use a lot of clock and try to get a good shot.
They do with the walk. But as you said, they used 26 seconds on the clock. Diatta, who has 3 threes tonight and make it 4. Has not scored a point this season coming into today's game. Has only played in 6 games all year, and he has 4 threes and 12 points. Derry with a nice pass, but gets bumped on his way in. Just amazing to see Pape Diatta tonight come off the bench and hit 4 3-pointers.
He's got real good shooting for him. And, you know, they may take a look at that and see if that was behind the line, but he just fouled out. Crowd giving me a little hard time as he walks back to the bench every time he takes a step. He had an outstanding game shooting the basketball.
He earned himself a spot in the rotation with this performance tonight. Typically, Georgia plays 10 or 11 guys, but Jordan Harris, who's out, been suspended indefinitely, not with the team. So that gave Diatta an opportunity to play tonight as Edwards misses the bunny. And with 2 minutes to go, Mississippi State has a 13-point lead.
When Derry was calling for the ball from brother Nick, just looked at him, held his hand, like, hey, slow down. We just want to run some clock. The younger brother telling big brother how it is.
Peters with another move to the bucket. What a performance. First time this season he scored 20. Maton for 3. It is just all Mississippi State in Starkville tonight. Ben Howland's team looking for their 17th win of the season and a chance to improve to 5-5 in league play.
And a tough matchup for future opponents because the 3-guard offense that are very athletic and do a lot of different things, and their 2 big guys are huge size-wise, so they can match up defensively. You've got to be ready to play. Strap them up when you come to play Mississippi State.
That game against Alabama on Tuesday night will be fun. A lot of youth on the court. You have to imagine the hump will be rocking. Georgia held under 62 points now in 7 straight games, assuming they don't get to that mark in the last 25 seconds. That 3 no good. And another miss by Juwan Parker, who had a tough night.
That was the story of the night, wasn't it, for Georgia, missing that layup.
Mississippi State 72, Georgia 57. What a win for Ben Howland, the Weatherspoons, and Lamar Peters